안녕하세요, 조호입니다. When Korean learners ask what's the difference between nun and ka, it's really a question of when to mark a subject with nun or ka. Today we'll see how the answer depends on context. So let's start with this analogy. Here we have a glass with 50% water and 50% air. Is the glass half full or half empty? This question has baffled many because the answer requires you to think outside the box. Consider this. If the original state of the glass was empty and you add water, then it's now half full. If the original state was full and you remove water, then it's now half empty. It all depends on your perspective when you look at the glass. If you're expecting the glass to be empty, then you'd see it as half full with water. And if you're expecting it to be full of water, then you'd be disappointed and see it as half empty. In the same way, the choice between nun and ka depends on the context of the sentence and which way you look at it. Take for instance a very simple sentence like Chosu is a student. Should the subject, Chosu, be marked with nun or ka? Well, which way are we looking at the sentence? Are we saying A, Chosu is a student, or B, Chosu is a student? The difference between the two becomes clear when we see the context. Are we saying A, tell me about Chosu. Chosu is a student. Or are we saying B, who is a student? Chosu is a student. The two sentences are produced from opposite directions. A is created with Chosu in mind, since that was part of the leading question. Here, is a student is produced to match the topic. B, on the other hand, is created with is a student in mind, since that was part of the leading question, and Chosu is produced to match it. That is, sentence A is created from left to right, or from given information to new information, and sentence B is created from right to left, where the new information comes before given information. Or to rephrase it, consider what's in the mind of the listener. In A, Chosu is held fixed in the listener's consciousness, so the sentence is created left to right. In B, the fact that somebody is a student is held fixed in the listener's consciousness, so this sentence is created right to left. Just as whether the glass is seen as half full or half empty, the way in which we interpret a sentence depends on how we look at it. We need to think outside the box. The two sentences may seem the same in that they have the same words in the same order, but they're actually opposites in how they come to mind. They're also opposites in the way the information is structured. In A, the focus of the sentence is a student, because that is the newly produced information. And in B, the focus of the sentence is Chosu, since that is the new information. Here we see how sentences are structured differently depending on where the focus lies. That is, how new information is presented to the listener. This idea of information structure is considered universal among languages, not just English and Korean. The structure of sentence A has a name called topic comment or comment focus, and the structure of sentence B is known as argument focus or what we will call subject focus. That is, in sentence A, the focus of the sentence is the comment, and in B, the focus of the sentence is the subject. Knowing which way to interpret a sentence is important, so languages use markers to indicate focal information. English predominantly uses intonation, so to exaggerate that, in A we have Chosu is a student, and in B we have Chosu is a student. Korean uses particles in addition to intonation. So in A, we have Chosu는 학생이다, and in B, we have Chosu가 학생이다. Topic comment uses particle 는, and subject focus uses particle 가. In A, 는 is used to say, I'm about to say something about Chosu. Do I have your attention? Here it is. He's a student. That is, 는 marks the boundary between topic and comment. In B, ga is used to specify the key piece of information which is missing from the listener's mind. By using intonation and particles, sentences can be more easily understood. Think of particles as features which help you decode and interpret sentences. Communication is actually really complex, and we need to tailor our sentences to make the message easy for the listener to understand. Particles are one of the tools to do that. Let's take another example. Romeo loves Juliet. So which particle do we use with the subject, Romeo? That's it. We don't know without seeing the context. It could be either nun or ka, or maybe it's best to have no particle at all. If the sentence exists without any context, say the sentence appears as graffiti on the wall, or for some reason you were to look up to the sky and see it written in the clouds, then it would normally be interpreted as a topic comment sentence, and so nun would be used. This is because we normally think in the direction of the topic comment structure. That is, from given information to new information. We wouldn't see the sentence as subject focus because it would appear the sentence is created backwards. Only in certain contexts would ka be appropriate. This is why basic textbook examples often have the subject marked with nun rather than ka. So here we have the two directions in which the sentence is formed. You can think of topic comment as positive since the sentence builds in a positive direction, and you can think of subject focus as negative, not that anything is being subtracted, but because the sentence is created in a backwards direction to how we normally piece together sentence information. With the sentences we've seen so far, these are the only two options. There's only positive and negative. However, is the universe made of two fundamental elements or three? I'll leave that for you to decide. We will say that there are three elements, positive, negative, and neutral, or null. So there's a third perspective to consider. The first was topic comment, where the topic is given. The second was subject focus, where the predicate is given. And the third type of information structure is called sentence focus, where nothing is given. That is, the whole sentence is new information. These sentences can appear without any background and are typically used to introduce a new referent or to event report. These sentences can be uttered out of the blue without any context. One condition for being sentence focus is that they can be used in reply to the question, what happened? Clearly, the answer to this question has nothing given. Here the speaker assumes the listener's mind is at a null state, and so the whole sentence is new information and the focus extends across the whole sentence. The particle of choice here is ka because the subject is new focal information. You may have heard people say that nun occurs with old information and ka occurs with new information, but nobody explains what that means. It doesn't mean what has been mentioned previously. What they're referring to is this idea of new focal information which updates the listener's mental state. So now we see that sentences fall into one of three types. Some sentences cannot be used in reply to what happened, and therefore they're either topic comment or subject focus. However, many sentences can be any of the three types. The example I use to illustrate this is, I shot the sheriff. As we can see, the sentence can be used in one of three situations, varying by context and what's in the mind of the listener at that point in time. So if nothing exists, and they ask the question, what happened? Nothing is given, and the focus will extend over the whole sentence. If the leading question is, tell me about yourself, then the speaker himself is given, and the focus will be the comment. And if the leading question supposes that the sheriff was shot by asking, who shot the sheriff? The reply will specify the missing information with sole focus on the subject. At first, these three sentences may seem the same, but when they're put into context, we see how they're different. Putting them into context shows us what the focus of the sentence is and which particle to use. Let's look at one more example from each structure. In the examples so far, the leading questions have led directly to a reply, and it's clear which part of the sentence is given. In the following examples, we need to look a bit more at the context. So here the boy opens up to his therapist. You might think that his secret should be the topic, but himself can also be a topic because it's identifiable to the listener, which is an important concept that I won't go into here. Here he's talking about himself, and the rest of the sentence is a comment about himself. UKG-005 explains topic comment in more detail.
There's Dingo in the tent.
Did you go to university, Greg?
Dingo's got the baby!
You drink it.
God, no, please, God, help me. The Dingo's got my baby!
What?
In this example, the young mother cries out that a dingo has just taken her baby. So what's the given information in this context? Nothing. The speaker assumes the listener's minds were at a null state, and the whole sentence is new information. Further details about this sentence are in the comments.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
Here we have Vader and Luke talking about his father. Vader puts his father into the mind of Luke via the leading statement of, Obi-Wan never told you about your father. So the following sentence has Luke's father as the given information, and the subject, who he is the new information. Again, this sentence is created right to left, and there's a strong spotlight of focus on the subject. So when a Korean learner has a sentence and wants to know which particle to use, the answer depends on the context. Because as we've seen, a sentence can be interpreted in 2 or 3 different ways according to how new information is presented to the listener. Speakers will use one of 3 different focal structures depending on how information is best presented for effective communication. And so the choice between nun and ka isn't a matter of what's happening inside the sentence. It's only when you look outside the box that you can see how context and speaker choice determines sentence structure and the use of particles. Looking at sentences in isolation is good for breaking down grammar, but we need to remember that there's more to language than vocab and grammar. We need to consider how a sentence comes to life. All that being said, there's more to say about these particles. We still need to look at their contrastive and emphatic effects, how the particles are used in subordinate clauses, and when it's appropriate to omit them. For more details, you can check out my book. It details more about information structure and the grammar associated with these particles. It explains these particles as tools for communication rather than sentence components, because as we've seen today, we need to think outside the box and see the context in which a sentence is used. Language doesn't exist in a vacuum. I hope this lesson has been helpful.